Broadcasting to you on WNN 1470 AM and TrentoVision.tv from the world's leading think tank laboratory, buried deep in an undisclosed building in hostile territory where evil and corruption is exposed. You're about to enter the Tom Trento Show.
Arrow board, all hands back in battle station.
Tom Trento heads United West, a group that says it defends Western civilization against the onslaught of Islam.
This is Tom Trento here.
Tough smoke cigars.
Give me a cigar. This was not mine, and I was not touching up my
tough
eyebrows. I was not doing that, okay? But it is Friday. It is the 16th of August, and whenever it's Friday, it is a special kind of Jumpin' Jum'ah Freaky Friday. Oh, silence! I give you. Okay, I have to pull this thing out of my ear every time we do that. Hi, everybody.
I tried
Jumpin'
to
Jum'ah
hold
Freaky
back
Friday.
a little bit.
Yes, you did. You held back a little bit. Thank you.
Yes,
my
thank you
ear
very much.
appreciates that.
Yeah.
Tom Trento here on the 16th of August, Jumpin' Jum'ah Freaky Friday. Coming to you once again, winding up a week of just wonderful excitement and wonder and religion of peace and all these things taking place.
ROP.
You know, yesterday we did a show on
So close to R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah, we did
on
a
the
show.
keyboard.
We did a show on the Southern Poverty Law Center, and we got into some of the definitions involved with hate, and we saw that groups like this take factual definitions that are in, the OED, Oxford English Dictionary, and if you even follow some of these definitions in the new postmodern construction of the left can't engage in dialogue and debate with the right, and people who even hold to traditional definitions of issues are considered haters.
That's right.
That's how absurd this whole thing
That's
has
right.
become. Well, thank God this show exists. We cut through that. We're fearless when it comes to calling people out who are playing games like the Southern Poverty Law Center.
That's right.
Or like the system of Islam, which is a failed system. And we distinguish between human beings, Muslims, who are trying to follow a failed system and the failed system itself. So we're going to talk a lot about the failed system.
Yeah, there's a
little later
very
on.
big difference
Well,
there.
Huge difference.
Yeah, there's a difference between minos and Islam.
Yes, Muslims in name only and Islam.
Oh, I
And-
thought you meant your nose. And
No,
my
minos.
nose.
Oh.
My nose. And
it's a cute nose.
It's a cute nose.
And that argument is true of my faith tradition, Christianity. There are Christians in name only. But when you evaluate the system, when you look at the teachings, the doctrines, the belief structure of a system, Christianity versus Islam, they're distinctively different by Islam's own declarations. So that's the kind of work we do here. But on Fridays, we kick back on
It's not what we say about it that's as important as what they say about it themselves.
Yes, but you're a hate group if you repeat what they say themselves, according to the Southern Poverty Law.
Unbelievable. Isn't that
Right.
unbelievable?
You're blasphemers.
Right.
And as much
Well,
as
if you take a look at Pamela Geller and Robert Spencer, okay, they'll write down in articles that they publish on their website, they'll take quotes directly out of the Quran and publish them on their websites, and that is classified as hate speech, and they're denied entry into the United Kingdom for it.
Yep.
But if they were Muslims quoting from the Quran, then it's not hate speech?
No, I mean,
How retarded is that?
you remind me of Geert Wilder's little 17-minute film. Remember his film?
Fitna.
Fitna, which is stress, basically, internal strife. He simply said there's internal strife in Islam. He put the movie together, Fitna. He took verses out of the Quran and then illustrated those verses
Yeah.
as to what they were teaching, and the
Yeah.
Muslim world went nuts.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. Absolutely.
like that. You know, that stuff is.
But you know
And-
what?
and-
You
Hey, how you
videoed
like
his
this color?
warning to America.
Yeah.
The Geert Wilders warning to
How you like this
America.
color?
I think people need to see that again.
Yeah,
play
Gert
it.
World. Yeah, Google Gert Wilders, WILDERS.
WILDERS.
Warning to America. It's
Warning
got like
to America. It's
got
got
a-
over 1 million hits.
combined. Like they rip off the videos. It's got like millions of websites.
Yeah.
So, but what's interesting is that the Gert Wilders warning to America. That's hate speech.
Right.
And Tom, you got that book there, that green book right there. Yeah, flashback to Tom over there, Mike. Mike, go back to his camera. Those books right there.
Stop wobbling.
Yeah, and you look at this, and it says, just reading these words out of that textbook. It says, this is a textbook for teaching Islamic jurisprudence to English speakers as a legal reference for the use by scholars, and that's the reliance of the traveler. All right, and in that book, it says jihad means war against non-Muslims and is derived from the word mujahideen, signifying warfare to establish religion. Slay them wherever you
Excuse
find
me,
them.
did you say warfare to establish religion?
Yes.
That's what jihad
Right.
is.
Slay
Okay.
them wherever you find them. Fight the idolaters utterly. Jihad is a common obligation. He who provides equipment for soldier is jihad, has himself performed in jihad. Those called to perform jihad are every able-bodied man who has reached the age of puberty and is sane. And like we were showing yesterday, if you go right to the Southern Poverty Law Center's definition, they say, if you say that there is a conspiracy of groups that want to kill us, you are classified as a hate group for saying that there's groups that say those words.
Right.
And that's a book that's provided by the Islamic Fiqh Council of North America. This is not something that we're making up. We're simply repeating their words.
Exactly.
And for repeating their words, we're classified as somebody who is hateful and distorting the truth. Excuse me, if that's your classification, classify them as a hate group. That is more hate-filled than anything we say. We're simply repeating what they say. You know, and this is what drives me crazy, because nowhere in the context with the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, or any other liberal lefty group come out and classify Islam as a hate group.
Oh yeah, that would be.
Where did you find this crazy Islamophobe?
Well, is not the Fiqh Council a hate group if they're promoting the doctrine and stuff and printed and proved by all major Muslim groups in North America and in the Middle East? Is that not a
I'm
hate-filled
sorry, are you
speech
trying
book?
to apply logic, reason, and truthfulness to the
Yes,
discussion?
I know.
Are you out of your mind?
No, because you're exposing the truth. You know, this is what really upsets me. And anybody who says that tries to expose that book or any other books like Milestones,
Right.
that are their doctrines, and any other doctrine that they have in their possession,
Right.
you know. I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent there, but it just
it's
drives
you're
me
absolutely
crazy.
right.
This
And you
book
know what?
is-
It's even people who agree with us don't
Right.
want to be associated with us just because.
Oh,
Like in
it's
public,
because you're Islamophobe?
in public, behind the scenes, great work, love what you're doing. Don't walk up to me if we see you at a public event. I don't even want to be like in the same room with you.
Right. You know, I don't agree with homosexual marriage per se. I don't care what they do in their bedroom, but I do not think they should be killed and stoned to death like that book says.
Right,
Like the Islamic
right.
doctrine says. Like the
Right.
Islamic countries say every day of the week.
Yeah.
Where is the outrage? Where's the moral outrage on homosexual groups, on leftist groups against Islam and what it's doing in the Middle East to gays?
No.
That drives me crazy. They're hanging them by
But
cranes.
where are the feminists and the people who are supposed to be
Where-
for women's rights, defending
Yes.
women in the Middle East and in all Muslim countries who are like viciously oppressed by Sharia?
I know. Where is the
Where
outrage?
is-
Where is the moral
there is
outrage?
none.
Where is the moral indignation?
There is none. There's lots of moral outrage and indignation over the ability of women in this country to have free and easy access to abortions, but there's no
Oh,
mention
yeah.
of the
Oh,
fact. Yeah,
There's a lot
yeah.
of moral outrage of the fact that a rodeo clown had an Obama
Oh, my
mask
God.
on.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, have a-
but
oh,
nobody
my
was
God.
concerned
Oh,
when
oh,
the
but-
New York Times would publish a cartoon of like George Bush Bush with a Hitler mustache or something like that.
And there's no
That's
moral
okay.
outrage when you have major Muslim countries and societies claiming for the eradication and extermination of Jews in Israel. Where's the moral outrage and indignation on that?
Where's the
That
moral
is the one thing that all sects agree on.
Yeah.
What? We haven't heard much from you, Abdullah. How
Yeah.
are you? How have you been these days?
I'm just undergoing a bombardment of Islamophobia on this Friday. I come from my mosque where I'm very happy. I come here and I am verbally abused by your staff.
Well,
I do
let's
not appreciate.
cut to Mark, Mike. If you can cut to
What?
Mark, and that's where Mark is sitting, and the verbal abuse.
You look marvelous.
Now, without revealing too much, Imam Abdullah, let
Yes.
the folks see part of your body. If
Yeah,
they can
just put up a finger.
Okay, which part would you
Show how
like?
close.
Fingers right here.
Yeah, give him the finger.
See how close he is right there?
Oh!
Oh my God! See, he's that close sitting to Mark.
I
so-
can
Wow.
reach out and touch you anytime,
That's a
infidel.
Sistine Chapel moment if I ever saw
Yes,
one.
it was. It was a Sistine Chapel moment. Hi, everybody. Tom
Got
Trento.
him right there. There.
I was sitting back. I was enjoying the show.
Tiring.
listening.
Yeah.
No, it's
He
it's
took some
fine.
time off to catch up on his
was catching-
reading and his email.
Get my mojo back
Yeah.
there.
I
Yeah.
started reading this as you were going through that, and this is
Oh, it's a horrendous book.
unbelievable.
And it's
Yeah.
approved by the Fiqh Council of North America as necessary and required reading by all Muslims in America. Give me a break. And the Fiqh Council, just for edification purposes, is the legal jurisprudential body of the Muslim community in the United States.
Is
the
that
big
your
legal
friend Jamal Badawi?
beagles. The legal
Yeah, Jam-
beagles.
Yeah, Jamal Badawi, who I encountered
Okay, well,
at
forget about all
the
that
University of Central Florida.
Yeah,
Who
we-
is University? Oh, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. I go,
you gotta
he
get
wrote
back.
this book.
Okay, we're now going to pause
gotta
for
calm
station
down.
identification at
You
12
gotta calm
minutes
down.
after
The
5.
question is, do you like my new shirt?
Yes, I do.
I do.
you like this color?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it
it's-
looks really good on camera.
It
sure
looks
would
very good with
disappear.
your pink stuff. Baby blue and pink.
Baby Blue, yes, he's
Who
going.
would think the Ayatollah of Islamophobia would wear baby blue and pink?
He's
We're
very
getting more and more
sweet.
colors here. I'm getting emails from some of our non-Muslim friends, Muslims who are not our friends,
Right.
and they're making strange remarks about the pink stuff, and
Could this all be a ploy by Tom
Could
Trento
be.
to rile them up on
Get in
the
their heads?
whole-
Who
yeah,
knows?
get in their
Actually,
heads.
he's trying to
Who knows?
expand the viewer base
Yes.
of the show.
Yes,
He's
our
appealing to an entirely new demographic
To the
of
women.
society.
Well, you know, the Muslims are very homophobic.
and I don't
so
mean the women.
the Muslims are very homophobic, and I think you're trying to antagonize with all these feminist
just
colors.
pink
color.
and
It's a nice
blue
color.
and-
It's a nice color, gotta tell you. It's Friday, Jumpin' Jum'ah Freaky Friday.
Silence! I kill you.
And it's
kill you!
14 minutes
kill
after 5
you!
o'clock. What we're going to do today, we got some interesting shows, interesting topics for you on our show.
On our show, which is airing on WNN 1470 AM,
Yes, it is.
broadcasting from Miami to Orlando.
iHeartRadio.
And
Say
on
that again, broadcasting from where?
Miami to Orlando.
From where?
Miami to Orlando.
Okay, from Miami.
Miami to Orlando.
Orlando, right
Yes.
there, that whole long thing there.
You can also watch us on TrentoVision.tv.
And you can even
And
be
the
here to
United
do
West,
that.
.org.
You can watch us right here or here.
You
or
can watch
there.
us anywhere
Anywhere.
in the world.
That's right. See how that works? That's
And listen
pretty
to us anywhere in the world.
And
on
listen
iHeart.
to us on iHeartRadio on your smartphone. Pick up your smartphone there, Tom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
your
this is
pink
pretty
smartphone
cool.
there.
This is
There-
Oh.
oh, look at
That's
that.
pretty cool.
It's
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
and
yeah.
color coordinated today.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
designing, the set design.
And
Also, you can find us on the teapartycommunity.com. And Mark, tell us a little bit about the Tea Party Community.
TeaPartyCommunity.com. Proud supporters of TeaPartyCommunity.com and Tea Party in general. And because I think that they are the only people out there touting conservative values right now.
Well, I think people also don't know that the teapartycommunity.com is the conservative antidote to
Right,
Facebook. So
right.
if you find that your posts on Facebook are getting censored and you're
Zapped,
getting
yeah.
your account shut down, then you need to post your political comments on the teapartycommunity.com, and then just use your Facebook for family photos.
everybody.
And things
Hello,
like
everybody.
that.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the for the happy birthday stuff, you
Yeah,
can use
exactly.
Facebook, but for the serious stuff, you want to
And
go to Tea
Tea
Party,
Party
Community.
We also have other viewers, other websites.
Other
Oh, yeah.
websites,
Partner
yeah.
websites.
Partner websites. We have Bare Naked Islam.
BNI, Bare Naked
BNI.
Islam.
Yeah.
Very good site for some hardcore stuff.
Yeah, but I have to caution you when you go to this site. Sometimes it's extremely graphic.
Don't go after lunch.
It's
Yes.
extremely graphic.
BizPack
I've seen
Review?
postings of beheadings and pictures of horrendous murders. And
You have BizPack Review. You had that before. That's very
Yeah.
good for. They're doing a
all
lot.
things political,
Yeah.
things political and cultural. Not just in Florida, though.
No,
they're
it's all
covering
over.
national and international news. I mean,
Trump
they do
may
a very
run. They got
good
a story
job.
there.
Yeah.
Trump may run for
They
president.
got a story on what's her name up there, Hillary.
whatever.
Eric Holder.
And Watchdog Wire, Watchdog Swire.
Watchdog Swire. There he is.
WatchdogWire.com
Yeah.
for
And-
citizen journalists.
And we have all the different venues on TrentoVision shown here on your screen.
Wow,
right
look
now.
at that.
Yeah, folks, we need you to. You're listening in your automobiles. That's great. But we produce a 1-hour television show every day. It has video and B-roll, and you can see us and play around and all of that. You
Right.
can listen. It's not bad. But go home, even if you hear it on the radio, the redundancy of listening, watching it again, you will be a different person. We put a lot of time and effort in this show. Go to youtube.com/The United West. Each show has TrentoVision, then the date, then a title. You'll see it categorized that way. And then we produce many other videos, but that's our archives. youtube.com/The United West. And we're leaving on September 30th, room for one or two more.
Right.
To Israel. We're going to talk about Israel and Egypt right now. We're going down to Eilat, where it is hot and where some do not want to go. I was on the radio yesterday, with Brian and Steve Craig, and after I hung up, somebody was listening and said, Brian made a statement going, Trento's nuts. I wouldn't go to Israel with him unless he's giving out bulletproof suits and all of
We
this.
do have
and-
bulletproof suits. It's
Yeah,
called
yeah,
the
yeah.
IDF.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's called the National
Iron Dome.
Trust in God. That's what it's
Safe
Called the
travel.
Iron
called.
Dome.
The Iron Dome. No, we don't take foolish risks. We may take risks in the work we do. They're not foolish risks. When you go on this type of trip to Israel with the Israelis and everything else, it's not a foolish risk whatsoever. Nobody's going to put anybody in danger.
It's safer than going to Chicago for the weekend.
I-
that's for
Actually,
sure.
it is.
I lived in Chicago.
Indubitably.
It's much safer. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think what happens is you just get a picture in your head, from the Egypt riots and everything like that. That there's bombings going on all over Israel, and there actually isn't, since they built their security fence.
Yeah, they can shut that place down in a second.
And that apartheid wall, if you will, right? And it's just, but it's actually a security fence, and ever since they've built it, they hadn't had any
The
terrorist
insanity
bomb.
that used
That's
to
right.
happen. No, well, that's the situation. So if you really, if you want a little excitement in your life, Frank Gaffney, myself, leading the tour. We're going to be going all over the country, behind the scenes briefings. There'll be components for people who have an interest in the religious artifacts and archaeology. There'll be some of that. There'll be a lot of national security stuff. And then we're gonna go down to Eilat to relax for a couple of days. It's
Right.
a resort area, and over to Jordan to Petra, which is a unique archaeological piece of history and Roman history, just to see all of this. But more uniquely, I believe, and I'm very excited about this, leaving on the 30th of September. As we get into Egypt a little later in the show, there's serious problems there. And we're going to be, right next door to Egypt and feel and sense this. Why do we do that? We do that to bring back the information to you so we can give you a first-person understanding of what's going on from people that don't sugarcoat this stuff.
It's so noble of you to do
Yes,
that,
isn't
I
that
must say.
But we need some money to be able
We
to
need
do
some
this.
money to help with the trip, though.
We want to bring everybody. We can't bring everybody. We need donations.
That's right.
Please.
And where can they go to make a donation?
You can
Tom?
go to theunitedwest.org. Little button on the top, donate securely. Please do that. Please, please, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big donation.
And now back to the show.
Back
now
to
back
the
to the
show.
show.
Okay.
And we got some cool stuff for you. First thing is our Space Coast update. Earlier this week, we had Roger Gangitano, the Act for America director. What was the tension? What was going on? Anybody
What was
remember?
going on was CAIR National was going after Rogers Act for America group for hosting Professor Jonathan Matusitz, who we interviewed on the show about a month and a half ago, something like that. He teaches terrorism and communication at University of Central Florida, UCF. He was scheduled to speak to this Act for America group. CAIR found out about it. CAIR's been going after this professor
This
for
particular
months. This
professor,
particular
okay.
professor who wrote an important textbook on terrorism and communications, and they've been going after him and anybody associated with him politically, or anytime he goes to speak, CAIR tries to shut him down. Well, this is like a 2-for-1 for CAIR, because CAIR wants to shut down Act for America also. So here's perfect for them. So CAIR National got into it.
CAIR
and
National.
CAIR
folks.
National, what they did was they wrote a letter to the county commissioners in the county
In Brevard County,
in Brevard
'cause it was a
County,
county building.
because the Act for America group has been renting space there in the evenings to have their meetings
For years
for
and
years
years
and
and
years and years. So CAIR sent, a polite but threatening letter
Slime
to
bags.
to the county
Islamic,
commissioners.
What was that thing we used to do?
Total Islamic dirtbag.
Total
yeah,
Islamic
TID.
dirtbags. Does
Yeah,
CAIR
TID
qualify?
alert. Yeah.
Does CAIR generally qualify for a TID?
So
Yes,
they tried to get the
absolutely.
county to shut down and shut out Act for America and this professor from
All
the
right, let's take
public
a look.
building and say that it was because it was
Right.
taxpayer funded, which it wasn't.
Let's take a look at the video here. That's not the video.
That's not the
That's
video.
not the video. No, you got the video. Come back to that.
Yeah. So, of course, what ended up happening was
Video 4, camera 4.
they actually got a lot of free publicity for
Great.
this professor and for their ACT chapter, and they ended up having like 200 people come to hear the meeting instead of the
And
50 or
TV
100 who
coverage
usually
and our
go.
coverage.
Yeah. So, so
There
back
you
at
go,
you,
CAIR.
Invited
Yeah.
Dr.
Here we
Matusitz
go.
here because he's a nationally respected speaker. He is like-minded. He's extremely knowledgeable about Islam, and his views are important. He speaks the truth, and his views, I think, should be heard, and that's why I invited him here to speak.
Well, for one thing, I teach a class on terrorism, and I wrote a book called Terrorism and Communication, which is the main book, the core text in that class at the University of Central Florida. I've read the Quran. I come from Belgium, where we have a large Muslim population. Some of these Muslims are fine, they're willing to adapt, but many of them refuse to adapt, and they want to impose their own Sharia on our land. And I want to make sure that Muslims do not impose Sharia and Islamic laws on our kids, in our schools, in our education system. If they want to come to America, I want them to respect our rules, to respect our laws. But of course today I'm going to talk about terrorism and the threat of jihad and holy war. I will explain what it means and where Islam fits into that.
We do not disparage any Muslim's free exercise of his or her faith or imply fear of or animosity towards Muslims in general. However, we do not accept the concept of Islamic superiority or the inclusion of Sharia into our laws of society.
Roger,
Yeah.
kicking it,
Go,
man.
Roger.
We
Roger's
know those
kicking it.
guys.
Yeah.
We know those guys.
Pretty good, Roger.
Are you impressed
That was,
with us?
Florida
Excellent job.
Today video. And very simple story, folks. CAIR, Council on American Islamic Relations, out of Washington, D.C., tried to strong-arm Roger Gangitano, one of the guys that works with us, and the
Yeah.
professor, to shut their mouths. They didn't. More people came. The
That's
word
right.
got
Well,
out.
one thing I like about this.
I would like to, real quickly, because I want to make a nomination here.
No, one of the I love about this professor is he's strictly coming at this from a textual manner. There is absolutely no bias or anything in this
Scholar,
guy.
yeah.
It's a scholarly approach to it, and it's the way a lot of us do it. But his information is dead on.
We usually give our weekly TID award to an individual, but I want to ask everybody here, can we issue the TID award to CAIR National out of Washington, D.C.? Is that fair?
Total Islamic dirtbags.
The Total
Plural.
Islamic Dirtbag, TID, Total
No,
Islamic
well, yeah.
Dirtbag Award. Could we give it to them as an organization as opposed to just an individual?
What?
What do you think?
Yes. Yeah.
Or do you want to
think so.
reserve it
Say
for
it.
individuals?
Well, because it's just. I like
There's so
naming
many individuals who are worthy, but
Well,
if you give
all
it
of
to the
them.
organization, you cover so many of the
Well,
individuals
there's
who are
no.
worthy.
I'll give Tom this. There is nothing. There is no one in CAIR that is not a total Islamic dirtbag.
Right.
So therefore, ergo, the whole group is a total Islamic dirtbag because there's not one single individual in that organization that is not a total Islamic dirtbag.
Okay, say it some more times so we could start getting some nasty letters and
that's
hate
okay.
mail and
okay.
death threats
all the way
from
from the
people who
top, all the way
support
down
CAIR.
to the individual members. All
I
of
have
them are
said
total
on the
Islamic.
air-
All are total Islamic dirtbags.
I have
yes.
said on the air.
I think there are some people who are like members of CAIR who really don't understand
no,
what
if you're a
kind of
member of
an
CAIR, no.
organization they're
Disagree.
members of.
Wrong. Disagree.
you
If
know,
you're a
Yeah.
member of CAIR,
No,
you're
if
a
you
dirtbag.
see like some of these kids
if
that
you're a
they
member
bus
of the Nazi
in,
party, you're a Nazi.
if they
okay?
if you see some of the young people that they bus in for these events that they do, like in Tallahassee that we've seen, these are kids who have like a Muslim
feel your pain.
identity
I
and
feel your
Islam
pain.
identity, and they really believe that they are victims of oppression in this country and they're discriminated
good point.
against,
They have a good point.
and they think that
All
this
right.
organization is there to support
Leadership.
them.
How about leadership?
Leadership is different.
Okay.
I'm talking about the
All right,
like.
we'll reserve our-
I'm talking about
No.
members. It's different.
If you're a member of the Nazi party, you're a member of the Nazi party. I'm sorry, you're a dirtbag.
I've told friends of mine, Muslim friends that are still friends, but once they went over and started working, getting paid by CAIR, I mean, I
Yeah.
literally said, you've gone
Yeah.
over to the dark side.
You've
You're
gone to the
working
dark-
for a
Right.
cultural terrorist. Oh, no, that's Washington. We're working over here. That doesn't work that way. That's really,
Right.
if you're a member of the party.
And if you're all right, let me ask you this.
Doesn't mean
CJ.
I hate them. It
Let-
means they're ideological enemies.
Well, no,
let me
because
ask you this,
especially
Frankie.
as a Christian, what you want to do is you want them to actually see the light and
Yes.
start following
Is there
something else
anybody-
entirely.
Is there
So-
anybody in Al Qaeda, part of the Al Qaeda movement, part of the Al Qaeda cause, part of anything else that is not a dirtbag?
No.
Mark's
Well, then
becoming
that's
a
my point.
Right-wing. Mark's becoming a
He's like,
right-wing.
yeah, I
like,
feel.
out there,
Ooh.
huh?
Well, I
Yeah,
know.
he's scaring me today.
I know.
Oh,
No,
man.
but I'm
scaring me
saying
today.
is because if you support if you're a member of the organization, you support just like, is there a member of the KKK that if I sign and say, hey, listen, I'm going to sign up, I'm going to join the KKK, at that instant and moment, I become a dirtbag.
My friend, you were a dirtbag long before.
Yes.
Yeah,
Why
but
don't
we have run. I just got to spend a minute on this because
Yeah.
we have a lot to do. We have run into up in Muslim Day and all of that. The little 12-year-old kids that are.
Yeah, I'm talking
at the
about like
CAIR
high school teenagers who they don't really
Well,
know
when you become
this
so
stuff
liberal,
yet.
CJ, God, geez, oh
No,
man.
I'm even saying that they're at these CAIR
they don't
events
know.
and they're kind of starry-eyed.
Yeah.
And they've been fed all this nonsense. And you go, is that a total Islamic dirtbag? I would reserve judgment on the little kids.
And it's like when we were talking with Ilya in our interviews with Ilya, and he's talking about how people get radicalized when they attend certain mosques. Well, he's explaining how there's like circles of influence within the mosque. So you could just be, a faithful Muslim off the street and attending the mosque and minding your own business, and you're not
Okay.
a terrorism.
Well,
you don't.
we'll all
you're
agree.
not a terrorist. You don't support it or anything like that. You're not part of that deep inner circle. You're not invited into
All right,
it.
we'll all agree, or maybe not, but we have to move on, that the leadership of CAIR all qualify for our prestigious weekly Total Islamic Dirtbag Award.
I'm taking this.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. All right, next. This
How does
is
Imam Abdullah
unbelievable.
feel about that?
I think, yeah, what do you think about that?
I think this might be my last day in this office.
I think you should call Ibrahim Hooper and tell him what
I
he
think
won.
that this
Tell him what he
I've
won.
never, ever in all my time here, I've never felt the abuse I have from the moment this show started today. How I come from mosque and being as happy as I can be to this hellstorm from your staff, Trento, is beyond me.
I have to
I
admit.
go from on top of the world to feeling like gutter scum.
I have to admit, Mark's a little riled up today.
I'm on a roll today.
you know.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
on a
And
roll.
he didn't even pour us any wine before he did this. What is with that?
where's the
We're
vino?
supposed to have wine and snacks to go
Well,
with
let me
those
tell you
kinds
who's
of
not
rants.
having wine
Right.
with the president. Let me tell you who's not
Oh, yeah.
dining with the president. Let me tell you whose body man may not be a body man anymore with the president. Reggie Love, big guy,
Oh, Reggie Love.
32 years old, played at Duke basketball, played football at Duke, tried out for professional football, didn't quite make it. 2006 goes to the White House. In school, athlete, hired by Gibbs, I think it was at that time, to be an intern. Gets a position very quickly. 2007, Reggie Love gets a position. There's Reggie right there as being President Obama's body man. Reggie is to
Wait, no,
Barack.
wrong years.
2007, he became his body man.
Okay, but Obama wasn't in the White House.
No, it was during the campaigning.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
It was he got it early on.
Okay.
And he got a job, the body man thing, so everybody understands it. Reggie, put that body man thing. Reggie is to Obama what Uma is to Hillary.
Oh, okay. I get it.
They're there to
They're
take
inseparable.
care. Yeah, he was on.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, there it is. But he's responsible for making sure, and the president, once he became president, took him into
So
the White
he
House.
carries the president's purse. Is that what you're
He
saying?
does. He carries his iPad, and the president referred to Reggie as iReggie
So
because he carried all his technical information and made sure he had his papers properly. And the president referred to him as his younger brother. Very close relationship.
Well, when you
20
say
years
it's like
difference.
Uma and Hillary, there have been some rumors about Uma's and Hillary's relationship, right?
Must think
Think
of Reggie.
Reggie must think of Reggie. Must think of Reggie. Must think of Reggie.
That's not nice.
That's not nice.
Well, yes. Whenever there are, this has been, from J. Edgar Hoover when he was wearing his dresses to whatever. There's always rumor and speculation, but we don't.
Rumors and rumors of rumors.
We don't participate in that. But what we do participate in is showing you video coverage of a
Reggie.
press conference. Watch this 2-minute video, and the takeaway is very important. Reggie left the White House a couple of years ago, about a year ago, went back to school to study to finish his master's in business administration. And here he is kicking back at a very low-level interview. But what he reveals is so deleterious to the president that this video has been taken off of YouTube. But only some pirating people wise enough kept it. And now it's like, hey, you have to hopscotch around and pull it down.
And your crack IT staff has managed to acquire this.
And
video.
we've acquired it. Take a look at this short video and listen to what Reggie says about the
How
killing
about
of
the day that
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden was killed? Do you remember? Were you?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember, of course.
Of course. I mean, I think it was a very long day. I spent the entire day at the White House, and probably typically like the weekends he'll work like a half day. And
Now he's talking about He's talking about the day Osama bin Laden was killed.
Sunday. It was a Sunday, May 1st,
Sunday, May 1st.
2011.
Now he's saying he was hanging out with Obama in the White House during that period of time.
this Sunday, we worked we were there until almost, I think he went on TV at midnight, and almost midnight. And sat around in the private dining room, kind of like, most people were like down in the Situation Room, but he was like, I'm not going to be down here. I can't watch this entire thing. So he, myself, Pete Souza, the White House photographer, and Marvin, we must have played 15 games of spades.
Who does he most trust?
Did I just hear that right? What did he just say, Tom? Did he just say that Reggie was playing 15 games of
He just
spades?
said the president was playing 15 games of spades. That's a card game with his body man and
Reggie.
White House photographer and a couple of other people
In the
private dining room at the White House, while everybody else on his national security staff was assembled in the Situation Room of the White House watching the events of Benghazi unfold. Osama bin Laden,
May 1st,
sorry.
2011.
You want to go on?
No, let's play that back. This is critically important. This is revealing new information, as I said, that is
He did not,
dangerously-
and this was the corner piece of his campaign, right, for national security. We got
Remember the
bin
picture?
Laden.
Remember the picture of the superheroes?
Bin Laden is dead. Al Qaeda is on the run, et cetera, et cetera.
Now, either Reggie is lying, obviously.
He's not lying.
Or Obama was completely uncomfortable in this situation, watching all of this go down. And remember when we reported on this, we said he 2 or 3 times he stopped the whole operation. He didn't want to do it, and then
He was overruled
we had a report where
by
he was
Panetta.
he was at Camp David
Yeah.
playing golf, and Panetta didn't even tell him,
Yeah.
Obama,
Right.
that the SEALs had crossed into Pakistani airspace till after they had. He couldn't call it back.
Yeah.
This validates
Yeah.
exactly the intelligence we had gotten.
Yeah.
Play that one more time. Listen carefully. And in terms of your evaluation of a witness, those of you in the audience listening and watching, you can't get a more credible witness than a close friend. They're not on the outs or anything. He's very relaxed.
Yeah.
He's just sharing what he thinks is a story everybody knows. It's just simply that nobody knows this.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, play it.
Talk about the day that Osama bin Laden was killed. Do you remember? Were you?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember. Of course,
Linked
of course.
together.
I mean, I think it was a very long day. I spent the entire day at the White House, and probably typically like the weekends he'll work like a half day, and this
Maybe it's time.
Sunday, we worked we were there until almost. I think he went on TV at midnight, and almost midnight, and sat around in the private dining room, kind of like, most people were like down in the Situation Room, but he was like, I'm not going to be down here. I can't watch this entire thing. So he,
I thought
myself,
he commanded the operation.
Pete Souza, the White House photographer, and Marvin, we must have played 15
It's freezing for a second. I got a timeline question. He actually came on the air, I think it was around 11:30 on Sunday, May 1st. That's when he was killed. And is Reggie saying that they played spades before the press conference?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
the 15 hands were before the press
Right, right, right.
conference?
And understanding, I've played a lot of card games.
Wait, hang on
Well,
1 second.
and
So
spades
11:30,
takes- no, hold on.
we got a
I'm
5 hour,
I'm
hang
trying
on. We got a 6 hour time differential, 5.5 hours. So it's 5:30, 6 a.m. in Pakistan. He was killed around 1 o'clock, 2 a.m. in the morning local time. So all the card playing was during the operation.
Yeah.
Let's understanding for those who do
Tell
not know.
us about the game of spades.
Spades, all right, is not a racist comment, by the way. It actually is a game where you trump cards and stuff like that. It takes about like all card games, takes about a half hour.
A half hour to play
One game.
one game.
Okay, so we get 15 games. So what? 14 games would be 7.5 hours.
Even assuming everybody folded early so that the president could win all the
Yeah,
hands.
you're right.
Okay, so maybe they were playing for 5 or 6 hours of cards.
But when was the dinner? Wasn't there a dinner earlier that evening, or was that the night before? journalist dinner that he went to, the president. I think that was the night before,
Right.
maybe Saturday night.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So remember he was at that. He kept very quiet.
The
So
White House, was that the White House Correspondents' Dinner?
Yeah, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We got to get that sorted out.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, for 7 or 8 hours.
7 or 8 hours he's playing cards. Now, if you
Yeah, we don't
if
know
the-
how
if the-
many hours it was, but we have to
if-
assume it was a few hours anyway.
Let's say they played speed spades. Okay, you cannot play 15 games like that in less.
Let's go the other direction. Let's say you're the president, you got a lot of stuff going on, and you got all your team down there. It's a room like this. You come in, you sit down for an hour, and they go, "We got it under control."
Right.
If you were the president, would you go, "Okay, just call me if anything happens"?
Hold on.
Excuse me. Excuse
going
me.
after Osama bin
No,
Laden. I
I'm
have to make a
sorry.
quick decision?
Is this like the biggest manhunt in the history of manhunts?
I'm just asking.
This is
just asking.
Let's do this another way.
this is the man responsible for the deaths of thousands of Americans, not just the ones on 9/11, but the wars that we had to fight after 9/11.
Let's say you're.
You're the commander-in-chief.
I was asking.
You're the commander-in-chief, and your most special, secret operation is taking
Which-
place,
which
and
being
you're
streamed live on video.
and you are not going to be there, riveted to every second and every moment that this operation is taking place.
He commanded the
Please.
operation.
Yeah,
This is
I-
the
not making
supposed
sense.
guy who gets to pick the drone targets.
Something's not making
Something's
sense.
not making sense because even in a combat situation, if you're going to go drop the bomb on whoever, you're going to be okay. We need to have you right there just to give the no-go or go order at the last second.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Let me call the president. He's up playing spades right now, and
Yeah.
I'll get back to you because I know 15, 20 seconds could not make a critical amount of difference in this
No,
operation.
the more I think about this, it's not making sense because the argument you guys are making is very compelling. That how could you not be there?
How could his personal handlers and his public relations people not have him in the room, even for appearances' sake?
What is Reggie Love doing there?
Yeah, what is Reggie Love doing? Yeah, never mind.
No, we need to look into this because it doesn't make sense that he would play cards for 5, 6, 7 hours while the operation was in process, removed himself from the Situation Room, but present to the public pre-election time this great commander-in-chief in charge. That doesn't make sense. So
How
Well,
about
it
the
does
removing
make-
him from the
hang on,
golf course part?
hang
Didn't they
on.
pick him up at the golf course or something?
Hang on. So a possible alternative is that Reggie's lying. That's why the video got pulled, because they're
Why
saying
is
this
Reggie lying?
is baloney.
I mean, you look at his demeanor, you look at everything else. What does he have to gain by saying that? Other than that, this
The
is
outright
truth.
lie that
Yeah,
the president was in the
right.
room.
I mean,
That doesn't hold water.
Okay, I tell
And-
you how this makes sense. Okay, it makes sense because he was actually at the White House while this operation was
He
taking
being
place.
Reggie.
Obama.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and therefore he could go on television to the American people and say,
I was there.
I was there, and this is what happened. That's for the American people. But then he can go to the leaders of the Muslim countries behind our backs and say, yeah, I was in the building, but I wasn't in the room, and it was somebody else gave the order.
I asked them not to kill him, just to bring him back.
can you imagine John F. Kennedy doing the exact
No.
same thing?
How about go
Bay of Pigs? Bay of
I
Pigs.
voted for Kennedy.
No.
go
a
back
little
to a
tiny
show
kid.
earlier this week
That was
when
a
we were
whole different
comparing?
kind of Democrat.
Go back to a show earlier this week we did comparing Obama to another world leader.
Oh,
And you tell me if you
Vladimir.
think Vladimir Putin would be playing cards with his boyfriend instead of
Oh
being
my
tuned
gosh.
in to what's going on in a major assassination.
I know.
No, something's
Okay,
not right
first
here.
of
We
all,
gotta-
as
we gotta
far
check
as
this
you
out.
calling him the boyfriend and everything else, let me just say that all politicians, even lowly Congress representatives,
Have
okay,
boyfriends?
they have, you know, whoever
Body
their
Do we want to continue on this?
their
video?
travel, you know, their travel aid is, whoever it is who takes the business cards,
need to
gets
do-
the water, holds the coat, all that type of stuff. And it's perfectly logical for the president or the Secretary of State
All right,
to
we
have
know all that,
such
we
a
know all
person.
that.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's fine.
You're
What
being
we
very
wanna
good.
do-
What is she, a liberal today?
What happened to CJ?
Here's what we
Jeez,
wanna
Oh,
do.
you told me you wanted me to play a character on the show, so I'm just trying this on for size.
Jumpin, Jum'ah, Freaky Friday! Here's what we want to do. We want to really look at this. I want to. This thing just came out yesterday, I believe. This tape.
And as soon as it came out, it got pulled down.
It
as
got
quickly-
pulled. I want
as
to. I want
quickly
to
as
track
it
the
did.
timeline. I want to look at our intelligence that we've been through,
And we'll play a couple games of space just to verify.
because this
the
is
time.
huge, and this will play greatly if indeed there was a dereliction of duty, and by omission, and maybe not commission. Maybe he didn't actively go do a wrong, but he removed himself. He omitted himself from where he should have been. So a dereliction of duty by omission, then that would be a precedent for his behavior with Benghazi, which is still
That's
hanging
why
in the balance.
I
What's the
always
other
get those
term?
mixed up.
Misprision of treason?
Misprision of treason.
So we need to really look into this.
And
we
the
will
crowd
for our
goes, yawn,
Yeah,
so
well, we
what?
don't
I got
know.
my Obama phone, and I got free health care coming, and kumbaya, and recycling,
Yes,
so
Roger.
who cares? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
We
Roger's
already
trying to-
did
we are-
you.
Your
We
segment's
already
over.
showed
Sorry,
you're
too
live
late.
on our show.
So
You're too
late.
late.
You're late. That's right.
This is how we're taking calls on the show
Here,
now. Just call
here.
Tom directly.
I'm putting you on live. You're going to
Speakerphone.
speak. You're going to speak through my
Speakerphone.
speaker. So be careful, okay?
I could call him if you want.
Now, are you there, Roger? You're live.
No, can't hear you.
No good. I'll call him.
You did a great job up there on the Space Coast.
And we'll talk to you later. Hang up now.
Okay, it was a heck of
Can't
a
hear
fight. I was on pins and needles for a little while, worried that
Okay. All right.
Bye.
See ya. We got to go. Bye. Can't hear him. All right. Good job, Roger. Live television.
Yeah, that's how it works.
All right, what we got to go to next here is 46 minutes after 5 o'clock. But we will, for the record, we're going to look into the Reggie Love thing. It's a bizarre, very
There's some bizarre
situation.
stuff happening in Egypt, I think,
You
that
know-
we need to talk about. And there's a link to what happened in Egypt this week and what's happening with one of our favorite people who we know from the Council on American Islamic
Oh, that's right.
Relations.
That's right.
So why don't we bring those two stories
Yeah, bring 'em
into
up.
it?
Yep. Go ahead.
Put up Ahmed Badir.
Well, yeah, let's do a little background on what happened in Egypt this
Do
the
week.
Poly-
We're not going to do the Hollywood. No, we don't have time for
No,
that.
no,
It's
no,
too
no.
late.
But we do have a little matter of a civil war breaking out in
Oh,
Egypt
we're gonna
and
work
hundreds
into
and
that.
hundreds of people getting killed.
You don't see the script. We're working into that.
Okay.
Okay.
Watch how we
All right.
The
spring into
secret
it.
script
The secret script.
that he didn't show anybody before we started taping.
They're here.
You need a
throwing
secret.
around.
Wait a minute. You need
I'm
a
working.
Bow your bones. Your
you need a
And-
secret decoder ring to
And then-
decipher what
then
it
the
is that he
show-
has written down
The
here.
TrentoVision show starts, and it goes all over the place. But Ahmed Badir, if we can put his picture.
Pronounce it correctly, Tom.
Ahmed.
Ahmed.
Ahmed Badir.
We
That's how he
we
pronounces it.
actually we grieve as human beings a little bit for him today.
His
And
brother was killed this week.
Actually, yesterday his brother was killed. That's Ahmed Badir. He is a ideological enemy of conservative people, of counter jihadists. He's a Muslim brother. He was in Tahrir Square in February 2011, helping overthrow Mubarak. He then, on the return trip, had 2 visits to the White House to report. He's a former official for the Council on American Islamic Relations, and he now runs an organization called United Voices. He heads up a group that is trying to stop American laws for American courts to be implemented around the United States, and he's trying to bring Muslim Day to teach essentially Sharia law 2 states around the country. So he's an ideological foe of ours, Ahmed Badir. Yesterday, his brother, Amir, and we've reported on Amir, show his picture again. That's Ahmed's brother, Amir. They're Egyptians. Ahmed, who is alive, lives in Tampa, Florida. Amir was killed yesterday by Egyptian authorities, police, still developing. And for the record, whenever anyone loses a family member, I mean, there's grieving, and on a human level, our hearts go out for the Badir family losing a son. Putting that into perspective, question arises, who is the son, what was he doing? And it's pretty clear from articles that Joe Kaufman has
Joe Kaufman
investigated,
writing for Front Page Magazine,
that Amir Badir was part of the Muslim Brotherhood organization, the Muslim Brotherhood movement, which by extension, based upon what we know about Ahmed, the Tampa gentleman, and his work, underscores not our theory, but our position that Ahmed Badir is a Muslim brother trying to implement the principles of Islam here in the United States. Thus, he's a political and cultural foe of
and that
ours.
was back
Pretty
in,
simple.
he was there back in 2012, not 2011. 2012 when Morsi took over from Mubarak.
No, he
But
was.
the revolution was in 11. He was there with the tank crews, remember?
He was there with the tank crews.
Right.
No, it's
against Mubarak.
2013
No, he's
now.
admitted-
Yeah, 13 minus 2 is 11.
He's an admitted
No,
Muslim.
Morsi was
I mean,
only in there for a year.
Right.
He's a total Muslim
The
brother.
revolution
Total
was in
Muslim brother.
2011.
Yeah, Badir was in Tahrir Square in 2011. And with the tank crews fighting Mubarak, which was the big mistake we all know now.
To go prove our point that it's the leadership of the whole society and all these different Islamic societies or whatever, they're all going to rally around support and praise his greatness and everything, like the Islamic Society of Tampa Bay. That's typical. The graphic that we have up here. Talking about,
that's yesterday's?
Yep.
Is that from Wednesday or? I think that's
From
from
today,
Wednesday,
I
not
think.
from
Today.
yesterday.
No,
Or
Thursday.
Thursday, actually. I think it's from
Is
Thursdays.
it from Thursday? Okay.
Yeah, that's
You want me to read it?
just a little bit of it. We're starting to fight the clock here. And we've got a lot of stuff to do.
Assalamu alaikum to all brothers and sisters in Islam. On behalf of the Islamic Society of Tampa Bay area, we request and ask for your dua for brother Amir Badir, who passed away today in Egypt. Amir is the brother of our dear brother, Ahmed Badir, president of United Voices and former executive director of Tampa CAIR. We ask Allah to have mercy on him and grant him the highest place of Jannah.
Okay, so that's a obituary basically for Amir, but
It's the same society that came out and supported Sammy Al-Arian so strongly. He's still in the campaign to free a known convicted terrorist, admitted terrorist, Sammy Al-Arian.
but the connection. You wanted to make the connection of what's going on in Egypt
Yeah.
with this local. Make that connection. Then I got some questions for you
Yeah,
guys.
the connection is, what's his brother doing there? His brother is a member of the Muslim Brotherhood.
He's
who was-
Egyptian. He lives in Egypt.
Yeah,
Right,
and
right.
he was killed by government security forces. Maybe not. Maybe it was Muslim Brotherhood people who are killing their own and passing them off as casualties of the government, as
Right.
we know that they're doing
That's
this
happening.
week.
We know
okay,
that's
so
happening.
it could be that, but he is a casualty of what's happening in Egypt right now. But he also is a Muslim Brotherhood supporter.
Now, here's the questions for you guys. We got Ahmed Badir, who,
Does that mean Badir is too?
well,
All right. First of all,
Because-
let's go back to
because
earlier
of the fact-
conversation.
yeah, because-
CAIR, total Islamic dirtbag.
Yeah, no, let me finish. What I'm saying is,
Kinda
if
leaves
it
that
were
way.
only the fact that his brother is a member of the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, then I say no. That
Well,
doesn't taint you as a person living in the United
piece of
States,
evidence.
okay?
what's
But when you're there in Tahrir Square...
Wait a minute. I said
She's
if it
being
were
precise.
only, I said
Okay,
if it were
precise.
only that, but it
I agree.
isn't only
yeah,
that.
okay.
He went to the
Us
million.
against them, baby.
He
Us
went to
against
the
them.
Million Man March or whatever it was in Tahrir Square to support the revolution, to support Morsi, and sent pictures about it back here to brag about it, to get his street creds, which he already had. He's on record here in the United
so he's
States.
a brother. He's a
Muslim brother
Right.
on his own.
Now, what happens?
Regardless of what happens to his
Yes,
own brother.
here's my
Sorry to
question.
put you to sleep over there.
Here's my question. Two levels of the question. And the first one is the transition from, folks, hi, 54 minutes after 5 o'clock on the 16th of August. Thank you for joining our conversation. But you know what? When people are driving, they get involved in these. It's Tom Trento here, WNN 1470, TrentoVision.TV. Jumpin' Jum'ah Freaky Friday. We're looking at Egypt right now. We had on a human level, a sad event. A nemesis, an opponent, a political opponent of ours, Ahmed Badir, lost a brother in the fighting in Tahrir Square in Egypt. And again, on a human level, there's some tragedy there. Our hearts go out for Badir and wish him God's peace. Still, he's our ideological enemy. So
He's hating us over there right now.
One question is, how is this going to affect the local activity of Ahmed Badir, whom we fight regularly in the state of Florida? Save that question for a later date.
Okay.
Right now, how would you advise Netanyahu and Obama to deal with Egypt? You have the Muslim Brotherhood, where the Obama administration seems to be saying, hey, General Assisi, let them back in the fold, or you're not being democratic, and we will call this a coup. And the majority of the Egyptians saying, keep them the hell out, they're destroying it. How do you make sense out of this? It's open for anybody to talk now.
I can tell you how to make sense of this. As a Muslim brother sympathizer myself, you Americans should stop giving your monies and your equipment to this coup military takeover and help restore the democratically elected President Morsi to Egypt.
That's
my
our
comment. My comment would be: I don't understand why the Muslim Brotherhood has a problem with the military takeover, because the people in the military support the same goals as the Muslim Brotherhood in terms of organizing the society and the Constitution under Sharia and everything else. But they're just going to have a better economic and public relations plan to go with it. So why don't they just shut up and stop fighting and let the Sharia come in
because
anyway?
it's not fast enough.
I have an idea.
that's the answer.
I have an idea. Why don't we just pull out of there, give Israel a bunch of arms, and let God sort it out in Egypt?
Hey, when you say we
Right now, Israel and Egypt are cooperating in the Sinai.
I don't like giving money to either side, either one of these knuckleheads. I mean, they are completely. It's one of these bad and worse and bad. You choose which worse is bad.
There's no
there is
brotherhood
no,
or the military.
There
we have
is
700 Americans right now in the Sinai, in Egypt, trying to maintain peace in the wild desert out there. 700 Americans.
Let God sort it out. Fund it. Give Israel weapons.
The Unitarian.
Yeah, the Unitarians
Let God
getting
sort it out, he says.
bellicose. What have you been drinking there, bellicose man?
Yeah.
It is very, very difficult to sort through this.
It's like when you look at Syria, there's no good guy to root for. What you do root for in Egypt is that whoever does maintain some control at least keeps more of the population fed than are getting fed now.
All right.
Do we?
I'll even add to the point. I will sell both of them weapons.
Yeah, rusty machetes.
Well, here's the problem.
Well, here's the problem: is one is using it to attack its own citizens, and one is using those weapons to defend their own citizens.
Yesterday I was on the Steve Kane show, and I explained a little bit. I said that when the Brotherhood was thrown out of Egypt in the early 80s after Sadat's assassination, scattered. It was a miracle of Allah for them to be reinstated, get the presidency. They read that eschatologically. They read that as an end-time event.
Right.
For them now, in a matter of a month or two, to go from tasting paradise and seeing Sharia and the Caliphate to you're no longer involved, ain't registering. These people are on an eschatological jihad. They will die for this, which means
They're going to
there's
take
going
as
to be
many
a civil
people
war.
down as they
It's
can
going to be a
take.
civil war. Egypt in 6 months is going to look like Syria. You watch, I bet you.
And with that thought, have a nice weekend,
that thought, come to
everybody. And
Israel with
thank you
us.
for watching and listening, and we will see you next week.
Well, yeah, we got a couple seconds left, I guess.
59-16.
Oh, right now?
Yep.
I guess we have nothing left.
Turn out the light.
Turn out the light. Have a wonderful
Thank
weekend.
you.
Stay safe, and may God bless you. See
There
you.
you go.
Bye. Oh, he froze me. Come on, I gotta get out of here.